Where are we headed?
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated discussion in the kitchen. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Where in Monarch? Warning. All colonists are urged to reconsider travel to Cascadia due to infestation of mantisaurs and risk of indefinite detention or death. There are no people aside from marauders in Cascadia. There is only death. The local report is that you will very likely die if you leave Cascadia's landing pad. This is one of those times where you say one word but really mean another, isn't it? I suppose you would find an environment like this fun. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Where in Monarch? Ah, Monarch, the armpit of the Halcyon system. Her last functioning port town is Stellar Bay. Well, that is if you don't count Sublight's Smuggler's Port at Fallbrook. I believe it has something to do with the planet being an uninhabitable wilderness and a lawless land with no corporate presence. You may wish to survey the residents in Stellar Bay for additional data points. It's Sublight run for the purpose of shipping contraband, and before you ask, I don't know the coordinates, so I can't dock us there. May luck be with you. Of course, as I am sure you are aware, luck does not exist. But it seems to comfort humans to believe they possess good quantities of it. The Groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
It's almost time for today's episode of The Chairman's Children. Care to listen with me? Fantastic. Do be careful with it, dear, as these keys tend to be a tad hard to acquire. You should have a chat with Lilia Hagen in the Sublight offices. She's a dear. You'll love her. Now, was there anything else? I've got a lovely little throw pillow. Just something I toss together. Like to keep my hands busy.
I'm gonna be able to set foot on a whole other planet? I know Monarch's a moon. I think it counts anyhow.
Long as there's paying work, you can count me in.
Your maple syrup.
Talk to Miss Lilia if you're looking for work. That's a good question. Yes? Yes, that sounds right. I'll make sure to include that in the new employee salvage tutorial.
Make this conversation worth my time, Captain. Sure is. Welcome aboard, contractor. One of my guys in Stellar Bay has a lead on some high-grade salvage, but he went dark before he could spill the goods. We arranged a drop at the Saltuna warehouse's loading dock. Find whatever he left there and take it to Fallbrook. My gal Catherine will be expecting you. A few of my contractors run flights in there and out again, working around with the board embargo. We keep the community lubricated with a steady supply of booze and unconventional erotica. Byzantium kids with more money than sense can thank Sublight for their good time. Catherine is tied up with other matters, and I don't want her bothered. I told her I'd be sending my best fixer. Try and play the part. When the board pulled out of Monarch, they buried or sealed anything they couldn't carry off-world. Apparently, one of Catherine's teams uncovered an abandoned lab with full tanks of Alta Vitae gas. It's exactly 1 million bits per cubic meter. Before you get too excited, the only thing rarer than Alta Vitae gas is a reliable buyer. Dangerous stuff. Acid for the nuclein in your cells. It's no good to anyone outside of a lab.
But it can be a lot of fun, if you don't mind the possibility of rewiring your body on an atomic level.
You and I have different notions of fun, Dr. Fenhill. Now, get going. Catherine will brief you on the details when you check in with her at Fallbrook. One last thing. When you're on the job, keep a pair of eyes in the back of your head. Understood? Don't go looking for anything, except salvage. Just watch out. You'll do fine. Probably nothing to worry about. Probably.
I ain't worried if you aren't, Captain. Honest.
Hope you find some good salvage out there. Or if you can't find some, make some. Swell. Has anyone from HR given you the new employee talk? Here goes. Welcome to Sublight, where salvage runs thicker than blood. We're still trying out new slogans. Sublight, because what's your alternative? Hey, that's not a bad slogan. Thanks. Glad to have you on board. We could use the help after what happened to the last contractor. No, I didn't. Oh, that. Just stay on Miss Lilia's good side. Stealing office supplies is a good way to end up as salvage, if you know what I mean. You're gonna have a short career with that attitude. Just do whatever Miss Lilia says and you'll be fine.
Sublight's always got plenty of work. Good gig if you don't mind where the bits come from.
My comm center already got an update ping from the backup relay. I trust everything went smoothly. Thanks. That's odd. The only messages in the queue are encrypted ones. Looking at the transmission logs, the relay hasn't received a single unencrypted message in the past 36 months. Must be on account of some new security red tape. Well, whatever's the cause, the board and the Earth Minister will see it sorted. Thanks again for saving my derriere. I secured quite the payment authorization for you from Chief Junlei. Try not to spend it all in one place.
Hey, look who it is. What'll it be?
C&P chicken and potatoes. At C&P, we know our C&P.
Well, I did not expect you back so soon. The ship used to be much quieter. Take someone to watch your back, please.
Well, well, Dr. Fenhill. It's not often I see you on this side of sickbay.
I make it a point not to get shot, and when I do, I can usually take care of the mess myself.
It'd be nice to have you in here patching people up, not just blowing them apart.
I respect what you're doing here, but you know I'm not ready to settle down. It's not you, it's me.
Have it your way, then. You always do. Now, about your friend here. Were I a gambling woman, I'd wager you're responsible for my mechanical safe return. I can't thank you enough. Keep hanging around and I'll begin to think you're here for me. What can I do for you? You have yourself a day, then.
What can I do for you? Need some Adreno? It's good for you. Spacer's promise. Don't take my word for it. See for yourself. Make a choice. Spacer's choice. Have a look.
Pick up any more strays while you were out? I suppose if the crew's quarters fill out. We could hang hammocks in the cargo hold. Welcome back, Captain. Now that you have acquired a nav key to Stellar Bay, would you like me to contact Dr. Wells? I don't believe so, Captain. Transmission incoming.
Well done. Exotic climate, violent native species. Really. You'll need to speak with Hiram, known as the information broker, and for good reason. If anyone knows where I chemicals, it's Hiram. I need to revive the Hope's colonists. They can help us the board. They can help us set... If we don't put a stop to the board, they're going to drive a complete societal collapse. You'll... Oh, I've tried. Silence, system's own information broker, a good sign. Oh, could be any number of reasons. Incarceration, drinking, a severe case, and it's better to be sure than to resort to conjecture. You'll want to hire the services of a skilled guide, recommend a hunter by the name of Yoka, king establishments of Stellar Bay. Very. Once you have everything you need, make your way to Hiram Blythe. Come see me in my lab. I'll answer any questions you have. Best of luck. Everyone on the Hope is...
We orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain. No blockade is a match for my piloting skills.
Gotta sign you in. I've seen you around. You here, right? I knew it. See, made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those friendships way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic. Us being cut by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest South and Halcyon. Please state your name for the record. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm gonna give you your... I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. This is the end. We don't get ship traffic in town. Out here are sublight. They got a base in Fall. The stars. Oh, to make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The nasty stories, dons, and cannibals and whatnot. But that's outside our walls. Mostly. It makes Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place. Not so bad. Get a good breeze going. Lots of kinda goes over my head, though. Mr. Sandra will be mighty pleased to meet you. I did a bang-up job of welcoming you. Hey, maybe you could do me a favor. This Tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment. Signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in? I couldn't really say. I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around by more than a few people by now. That's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest tossball hackers ever.
I wonder if he's kin. Dad had family that worked for Rizzo's. I never got to meet them.
Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You been living in a sulfur pit or something? Oh, you're real funny. Guess I don't feel so bad for missing what goes on in the rest of Stellar Bay. Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Sliding. All over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there, get right in that big stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? You ain't from around here. Who are you? Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger? It is a shithole. It's a free shithole, though. Plenty of ways to blaze your own trail. Folks seem to like that. Besides, the booze is good. Something about that fish oil. Cheers! Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. Want a guide sooner than that? You'll have to get me something to clear my head. More than you have, I expect. I plan to sit here and drink till I myself awoken sober. Outstanding! The dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month on account of needing one just a day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Y'all. They work. We got a deal or what?
Does Velma seem out of sorts to you? She's always cranky.
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick up her own.
Hard, but bring double edge.
Very well, dearie. But you stop by anytime you like. Hmm?
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
Dear, why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember.
Quite the bedside manner.
Well, it's here I get the pleasure of new company. What can I offer you? Yes, someone's got to keep Stella and energized. Oh, but she's quite the hard worker, but she's got a bit of a temper. No, dearie. Can be a little prickly. Oh, but here I go again, running my mouth when it's none of my business. Was there something else you needed? And what a helpful young lady you are. Nothing like Ritz.
Whiskey helps, too.
Please leave medical advice to the professionals. Now, who's up for? But with trade, to reserve my Stellar Bay residence. Our reserves have got will do to get a little extra. Isn't it just? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there anyone else needing a special pickup from Auntie Abigail? Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry. I'm afraid not. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them. Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his. Careless experimentation with medicinal substances does take its toll, eventually.
But until then, it's fun.
Episodic pharmaceutical delirium is no laughing matter, young lady. Chinny.
I'm going.
Ah, the charm back. Drink, chat, or business? All of the above?
Says someone who's never had any fun.
Exactly. See, I'm glad someone on your crew's got some sensible, got her head on straight. spotting the, We're in business. Let's go.
That was fast. Got his on the
The first offer you gainful employment. Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. Till we're past Fallbrook. Out there's a western that'll lead us through some, You like hunting, right? It's fun. Rod will take you into the mountain caverns. Discuss options when we get closer. That said, I don't mind waiting somewhere until you get open.
It being crew, Nyoka. So you keep Monarch safe, huh? That's real honorable work, Miss Nyoka.
Oh, no. Ain't safe, even with me around. I've just got intimate knowledge of its dangers and an abundance of fortitude. Folks hire me because I know what you can shoot and what you ought to run from. That's a mistake you only get to make once.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger. Enjoy. If you're keeping Nyoka company, you'll need a few to keep up with her.
Ain't a person on this planet who can keep up with me. We can
For you. This bar is bound to get Nyoka. On account of her being here so herself.
Hey, you ought to be paying me. Without me livening up the place, y'all would be wallowing in the misery that is your sad corporate lives.
I don't mean that unkindly, Nyoka. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you? Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the Iconoclasts or some such. Bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled out of Monarch not long after. I thought everyone knew. But then that was 10 years ago. Still feels fresh to us every time we look at our walls, though. But it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all. Ah, don't be so negative. It's what's on the inside that counts. Speaking of, you look like you could use a bottle with something good in it.
Smells like wrapped in here.
Oh, it does work.
Hey, Velma, I got your caffeinoid pills.
You're a lifesaver. Hope Abigail didn't give you a hard time.
Just the usual. Any word on Braxton?
Nothing. Don't know how much longer I can cover for him either. Give me those pills, will you?
Here you go. You know, you might consider a real night's sleep instead.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry. Did she now? Well, I can see I was mistaken. Because if Catherine really had sent you, there'd be expletives in your message. Hope you forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing. Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess. We're not keen on rules for rules' sake around here. Means Braxton skips work sometimes, but it also means no company boss is telling me when I can take a shit. Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra drugs he's been taking from supply. Something else on your mind? Stealing's such a nasty word. Let's call it skimming. And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the sterile biotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton's shifts. We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get the salt tuna, fat, and mostly tumor-free. Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a Ground 6 spacer. Caleb Herrick. Runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials.
So the job's easy, but you're not doing it? Something smells here. I mean, everything smells in here, but something's fishy. Wait.
He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I pay them more. Because we've got a budget, all right? And in case you haven't noticed, MSI doesn't exactly have a lot of spare bits on hand. Not on Monarch. Sanjar threw out the old work mandates and penalties. Tell me about it. You mind slapping him around a little while you're at it? I'm joking. Mostly. Unless you can do it without hurting his job performance. If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Check the yacht club. He's usually there. Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say. Hard workers? They turn dials and flip switches. The machines do all the actual work.
I'll wager she don't pay those folks that maintain the mechanicals decent neither.
Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else around here, I'll tell you that much. I don't have the bits for it, plain and simple. Besides, if I make an exception for him, I gotta do the same for everyone. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate. For running me ragged while he takes an extended leave at the bar? Not on your life. Maybe so, but I bet you Caleb runs out of bits first. Then he'll have to come back. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all talk, but if the money's real, I bet you he keeps it at home. Near the diner.
You'd steal from your own people? That's low, man.
That's business. Someone's got to keep the lights on. Fine by me.
Where are we headed?
Nicely done.